I am here with Theodore Winters, who is an amazingly talented artist. Theodore, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me on here.
Of course, I went crazy when I saw this and I walked into the studio this morning. It is my favorite type of art, that pop art. First off, you give the whole 1950s, 60s vibes. Because you're like probably around my age, how does somebody who never lived through the 50s become obsessed enough to make it into art those eras?
Yeah, so I grew up in the 1990s. I'm a 90s kid, but I really liked the 50s and 60s. I would go to my grandparents' house all the time, and you would see the old appliances, the old cars, the old radios. And you just kind of grew up around that environment, and you just kind of see it as time goes on, dwindling more and more away, where a lot of these items are ending up in antique stores, and they're just disappearing forever. So it's kind of cool to preserve that piece of American culture.
When did you actually start painting and creating art? Because these look like prints, but I checked the backs because I'm suspicious of everything. So I was like, let me just check and see. Paint on canvas by hand by you. When did you get to this? How did you get to this level? When did you start?
That's a common thing. A lot of people think that they're prints because they're very cleanly done, but that's sharp. The 50s aesthetic. Everything is clean lines, futuristic, sharp, bold primary colors with a little bit of pastels mixed in. So I've been doing it for about 15 years. I've been a professional artist. And I'm 30, so a good half of my life. Yeah. But I got really into this form of art in the last 10 years, I would say.
It's interesting too, because while you love that nostalgia and while that you paint obviously to honor that time, you present your art in a very, very modern way.
Yes.
Where most people are trying to get into galleries, which can be really difficult sometimes.
Oh, yes.
You're using the power of social media to get your art out there. What made you say, okay, this is how I really want people to see it? Why did you decide to use social media? And you use music too to spread it.
Yeah, so music, everybody kind of views art and everybody kind of views music differently. So some people, they can relate to music better than they can relate to art. You can put on a song and that's gonna, touch their soul better than a painting would. But some people are more visual and art would do it. So mixing the two, what I do is every single painting I do, I name it after a song from the era. And then when I upload them to Instagram or whatever social media platform I'm on, I'll put the song with the painting so it can connect the two together.
That's really cool because you don't get to just introduce fans to your art, but also the music that they maybe have never heard.
Exactly, yes, exactly. But a lot of galleries, it's kind of a touchy subject because it's very hard to get into certain galleries, and I don't want to be that guy, but it kind of seems like we need to get with the future times. Galleries aren't a thing. They're not going to be a thing much longer. A lot of the art quality that you see in galleries, you're not going to see the local artists who are actually talented. It just kind of seems like it's hand-picked. So when you have social media, essentially if you have a show, you have 1,000 people that come to your gallery. If you have social media with a larger following, you're affecting more people. Exactly. You're affecting more people, and you can display your work in a different way that would maybe reach people that aren't in your classic niche.
So how do you get inspired? Do you just see something? This is Winters Motel. Obviously, that's your last name. Yes. I love that you put a little Easter egg in there. How do you get inspired? Do you see a frame, or do you maybe watch an old movie and go, okay, I kind of take a little bit of that?
So I surround myself with my artwork. I'm one of those types of people, kind of much like a method actor, where they get really into the roles to the point where they have a hard time clicking out of it. My entire house is 1950s. I have 1950s appliances. The whole house is 1950s. Oh, that's really cool. I have record players, 5 or 6 record players. Probably 1,000 vinyl records, and I just kind of put one on. I'll sit there. Unfortunately, I still smoke sometimes, so I'll put one on.
Right.
I'll sit there. I'll smoke, and I'll figure something out of what I want to paint.
That is incredible. Your parents, when they see this, or your family, they're like, "Oh my God, we can't believe." Are you the only artist? Are you from a family of artists?
No, so I'm actually from a family of artists.
Nice.
My older brother was an artist, and he was a graffiti artist, and that's kind of where I got my start in the art world, was actually graffiti. Well, and my uncle was an artist too. My uncle was a sign artist, so I get to kind of pay an homage to my uncle in a little ways with sneaking signs into some of my paintings. It's kind of a cool touch.
I love that. Theodore, you are a cool cat.
Thank you.
And you're welcome back anytime. This is amazing art. We'll have more on Theodore and his really cool art on lifestylelive.tv. Peter, I got to figure out which one of these I need to put in my living room because I need one.
Do you think I could pull off the shades like Theodore?
I think, you know what, as long as you can see.
Can I see him? Can I see him real quick? Yeah, hold on. I'll be right back, Lindsay. Lindsay hates this. All right, hold on.
Let's see, Peter. That's a cool cat.
You like it?
Yeah, that's
There we
nice.
go. All right, I can't really read the teleprompter, but I'm going to try.